This weekend, Karen and I went to the Fakahatchee Strand, and we also did some camping at the Panther Strand in the van. We had a great time. We were looking for Florida panther. It was a great hike. We hope you enjoy the video. We're trying to bring everything that we do to you. If you like what we do, please subscribe and like the video, and thanks for watching. Today we're at Fakahatchee Strand. It's a preserve in Florida, and it's part of the National Panther habitat. We're going to take a hike on Jane's Scenic Highway, and it's basically a highway that's built upon an old rail system. Only about a week ago, the Florida Panthers, 4 of them were seen right behind me. So we're going to take our time today and do a little exploring and hopefully bring you the Fakahatchee. Jane's Scenic Highway is pretty neat. It goes through the Fakahatchee Strand Preserve. We're hoping to see panthers and other things. There's all kinds of things here. We're doing about 3 or 4 miles, and then we're going to go out and hike very old tram road. And that tram road leads to the old Hilton, because it's really an old hunting lodge. Jane's Highway stops there, and you begin hiking. Fakahatchee Strand is west of the Everglades. It's west of the Big Cypress Preserve, and it's a place that is in large part intact. It's had a chance to grow back after they took lumber from this area and wiped out the cypress trees. Everything behind me is regrowth. If you've ever read The Orchid Thief, this is where that story takes place. The road that we're on is basically an old railway without the rails, and this is how they used to take the lumber out. To see anything on this trail, you've got to be really quiet. So as far as you look, at least in this part of the Fakahatchee, it's a lot of water. A lot of cypress. These are willow in here, but it is a large swamp, and it's its own watershed. It's a lot of rainfall that creates this place and creates the swamp. And it looks like we may have found a panther print. We just saw what might have been a Florida panther print, which is pretty neat. It's really a beautiful place. It's untouched, but in the middle of the Fakahatchee, there's something called the Brazilian pepper. It's not indigenous. It grows everywhere, and it's very destructive. It's got the toxicity of poison ivy, and here it grows right in the middle of a swamp. As you're walking on the trail, you'll come to a few things. First one is a cautionary word of advice, and the second is this hunting cabin. They refer to this as the old Fakahatchee Hilton, 1957. It's an old hunting cabin in the middle of the Fakahatchee. Hey, Mr. Raccoon. He's adorable. Look at that. He's a young one, but he's got to be careful, because across the pathway is an American alligator. Yeah. You see the blue heron in front of you? We're here during the winter, so the canopy it's a lot less. It's basically, we're walking on it. But the ferns are amazing. These things are growing close to 7 or 8 feet tall. And a lot of times, if you're ever interested about edibles, this is where you also get bit by a snake. These are all edible, and they taste like asparagus, which is pretty neat. These are fire ants. They're from Brazil also, and they're really bad. And they've actually been known to kill cattle. Oh my God, stop. They basically send a signal. One of them bites you, and it sends a signal to the others that are crawling up you, and they all bite you at the same time. It'll definitely mess you up. If you're watching this and you're from Florida, you may recognize those tall palm trees. That would be your royal palm, which is used in a lot of landscaping in South Florida, and that's where they're from the swamp. Everywhere you look on this trail, there's the possibility of seeing something new, something cool. James Memorial Highway is really just a great place to get out, forest bathe, if you will. And even if you're walking, you might come across things you never see. It's so lush here, it's beautiful. Fakahatchee Strand is just a wonderful place. Anyway, keep your eyes open. What a beautiful, beautiful alligator. He's about, I would say, close to 8 feet, maybe a little over 8 feet. What a beautiful animal. And sometimes you have to look, then you see this. I can tell you in the morning, it was a little different looking, but that's all animal hair. So it's either bear, I'm assuming, coyote, or Florida panther. The early bird gets the worm. Karen and I are up very early, and we're trying to see a panther. Day 2. We left Fakahatchee Strand, and we are headed to Fakahatchee Strand. Got here fairly early, like really early, and we're gonna walk down Jane Scenic Memorial Highway, which nobody's here other than one other car, and who knows, maybe today we'll see a panther. So water is essential in South Florida. Without water, there is no Everglades, there's no big cypress, and there's no Fakahatchee Strand. The water is constantly flowing through here. Most of the water here is rainfall. That's how it arrives here, and it's constantly moving to the ocean. Water is everywhere, and so are the animals. I like how they try to outrun us. They're as good as runners as I think as they are flyers. Oh, there's a few of them. One of the nice things about Fakahatchee is it is just so quiet, no noise whatsoever. So you get to a place that has water flow. All you can hear is the water.
It is so quiet.
It is so quiet. By the way, our outfits today are sponsored by
Go Blue.
Go Blue. There's a ton of plant life that can support basic needs. This is something called Indian corn, and it has a seed that the Native Americans used to pulverize. It's the native coffee bean. And then something that a lot of people kill is Spanish nettle. It's really considered a weed, but it's actually very edible. Incredible diversity here. Scary because that's a foot. Gotta be careful what you do when you walk here.
Bear scat.
Holy crap. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Oh, I didn't go that far.
It's got beauty berries. That's a big one too. Here to hand size.
Okay.
It's big poop. We were heading, finishing up today, and Karen looked behind her. It's a tip, always look behind you when you're hiking. And we saw a bear Hopefully the film turns out. So we think, originally I thought what Karen saw was a bobcat, and then somehow it looked like a panther, but a small panther, and it disappeared, and then it came back onto the road. It was moving pretty quick, it was galloping, and it looked like a bear. We stopped at the Fakahatchee, what I would say is a visitor center, and we took a look at the film that we took of that bear slash panther slash, we thought maybe coyote, and what was the other one?
Bobcat.
Bobcat. And what did we see?
A bobcat.
We saw a bobcat.
I knew the first one was a cat, and the second one was a bear. They were not necessarily together, but they were on the same path separately. One was black.
Yeah, that's true.
And it also had the shape
It
of a
had really-
bear. When it turned, the whole profile was bear.